tonight the investigation of the Enron affair. The giant energy company put pressure on the government to save it before the company collapsed. The Ford Motor Company is getting rid of 35,000 jobs. We'll see tonight what happens to a tiny company town when the clothing manufacturer moved on.
When it come down to the almighty dollar, the people of this community didn't matter.
The videotape from Singapore, the terrorists planning to attack Americans. We'll take a closer look tonight at the school where they train the dogs to detect explosives. And the musical play that went on for year after year after year. It has finally closed.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Good evening, everyone. Today we had the clearest evidence yet that the giant Enron energy company was actively seeking government help as it was about to collapse and wipe out so many workers' savings. The Treasury Department acknowledged today that the company president called a senior official seeking his assistance. This is a complex company with deep ties to the Bush administration. And as of this Friday night, there are 8 separate government investigations underway, one of them criminal. We're going to go first to Capitol Hill and ABC's Linda Douglas. Linda?
Well, Peter, the Treasury Department did reveal today that the president of Enron called a senior Treasury official 6 to 8 times in the crucial weeks before Enron's final collapse. It was October 28th. Enron's stock was plummeting. Enron President Greg Whaley called senior Treasury official Peter Fisher, suggesting Fisher intervene with the bank to extend Enron more credit. Fisher declined. Today, the investigation of Enron on Capitol Hill intensified. A Senate committee sent 51 subpoenas seeking documents from Enron officials, Enron board members, and the Arthur Andersen Accounting Company, which was responsible for making sure Enron's books were in order. ABC News has learned that Justice Department's criminal investigation will now look at whether the accounting firm obstructed justice. Yesterday, Andersen disclosed that some of its Houston employees destroyed a significant number of documents from Enron. Some Democrats are demanding to know more about the calls to the administration. In a letter, Congressman Henry Waxman asked the Treasury Secretary why he did nothing to mitigate the harm to thousands of Enron employees. On Good Morning America, the Treasury Secretary said the administration was busy fighting a war when Enron collapsed.
While Enron may be important, in the world that I live in with hundreds of other things going on, this was just another piece of business.
For the first time, Enron CEO Ken Lay talked publicly about the Enron catastrophe on videotape and addressed to a college audience. He blamed his company's collapse mostly on the economy.
Many companies in 2002 are undergoing the difficult but cleansing effects of the current economic downturn. Enron itself has been a casualty of these events and many other events. For this consequence, I am deeply saddened.
Despite all the calls to the administration, though, Peter, there is no evidence of any wrongdoing by anyone in the administration, but there will be about 5 or maybe more congressional investigations, may be complicated by the fact that half of the congressmen and 3/4 of the senators have gotten contributions from Enron.
Thank you, Linda. Linda Douglas on Capitol Hill. For all the Enron workers who lost their life savings, there's a handful of senior executives who did famously. Even as their company disintegrated, they walked away with so much money they will never have to work again, and then some. Here's ABC's David Wright.
Before Enron's stock price plummeted to less than $1 a share, 29 executives sold off more than $1 billion worth from their portfolios. This as thousands of Enron employees were barred from selling any company stock from their 401ks. Enron's chairman, Ken Lay, dumped nearly $500,000 of his shares last year and exercised options, earning nearly $16 million in profits. Former CEO Jeff Skilling sold nearly 250,000 shares, earning more than $10 million in profits. Enron also found a way to pay $55 million in bonuses to some 500 key people. That was just days before the company filed for bankruptcy and announced the layoffs.
While the executives were cooking the books with one hand, they were selling off their stock at high prices with the other.
The company's senior executives are major players in Houston high society. Ken Lay threw out the first pitch at the city's new Enron Field. He's a member of this exclusive country club and lives in a penthouse apartment now valued at $7 million.
I'm sorry that the events surrounding Enron have taken me out of town.
This week, in the videotaped remarks he was previously scheduled to give at Rice University, Lay apologized that Enron's trouble had forced him to leave town. Lay himself has been keeping a low profile at his vacation home in Aspen, Colorado. That doesn't sit well with some former employees.
It really ticks me off that they're off jetting around, they're enjoying themselves, and I'm worried about even going to the grocery store.
Enron's corporate mission statement says we should treat others as we would like to be treated ourselves. Now, former employees are wondering whether the executives treated themselves too much. David Wright, ABC News, Houston.
Well, the Ford Motor Company doesn't have anything like the problems of Enron, but they did announce today some startling cutbacks in an effort to stay profitable. The company says it is cutting 35,000 jobs and taking 4 very well-known cars out of production. ABC's Betsy Stark is with us tonight to answer 2 questions. First of all, how did they get in this much trouble?
And it was a stunning reversal of fortune for that company, Peter. First of all, you'll remember the company spent billions of dollars replacing Firestone tires on Ford Explorers. They also lost a lot of money on those 0% financing deals, which helped sell cars, but took a big bite out of their profits. And finally, some analysts say that Jack Nasser, the previous CEO of Ford, got involved in too many other businesses, took his eye off the ball, the core mission, making great cars and trucks.
Second obvious question, what is Ford planning to get out of this mess?
Okay, well, Ford's got a restructuring plan it announced today. Let's take a look at some of the specifics. It will cut 10% of its worldwide workforce. About 15,000 of those 35,000 jobs will come off the assembly line, close 5 assembly plants, and those 4 models it will discontinue, the Ford Escort, the Mercury Cougar, the Mercury Villager, and the Lincoln Continental, its signature luxury car. This is going to be a big test for Bill Ford, the great-grandson of Henry Ford, the new CEO of Ford.
We were surprised when we saw that model disappearing today. Many thanks, Betsy Stark. This has been a winter of job loss in many parts of the country. North Carolina is having a hard time. A quarter of U.S. textile workers live in North Carolina, and U.S. textiles are under price pressure. ABC's Steve Osunsami was able to see what this means in human terms when he went to the small town of Andrews at the foot of the Great Smoky Mountains.
By 4:30 this afternoon, the VF Clothing Corporation, the largest employer in Andrews, closed for good. More than 500 textile workers are now unemployed. That's a third of the town.
This town is out of work, there's no doubt.
They knew it was coming. On Main Street, stores began to close months ago. The power company, this restaurant, this insurance office, nothing now but empty windows.
For now, it's over with me, Yeah, the end of the month will be, I'll close it out.
Business at Richard Moore's clothing store is so slow, he didn't have enough change for his one customer of the day.
So I'm going to owe you $5.35.
The VF Corporation says it was forced by competition to close down in Andrews and to move 20,000 other jobs from factories across the South to plants overseas, where labor is cheaper.
We've moved many jobs to Mexico, Costa Rica, Honduras.
The company has been in this small town for 50 years.
But when it come down to the almighty dollar, the people of this community didn't matter.
That's what hurts. I mean, they devastated this community for money.
When Chuck Davis punched out for the last time, his family lost 2 incomes in one day. His wife also worked at the plant, and they have a son going to college.
And in an area that there's not a lot of employment to go to, it makes it more fearful.
Any job opportunities are far away.
We can't drive 2 hours to Atlanta. We can't drive 2 hours to Knoxville.
They'll have to decide, commute long hours to work or pack up and leave home. Steve Osunsami, ABC News, Andrews, North Carolina.
What a tough way to end the week. In other news today, what they call the hockey trial. In Massachusetts this evening, a jury found the father who killed another father at their son's hockey game practice guilty of involuntary manslaughter. Thomas Junta could face as many as 20 years in prison, but as a first-time offender, he is more likely to serve 3 to 5 years. Afghanistan, the U.S. plane carrying 20 prisoners from Afghanistan landed at the U.S. base in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba this afternoon. One of the prisoners was sedated during the flight, and 6 were seen struggling as they were led from the plane and put into cells which are basically cages. The Pentagon would not permit pictures any closer than these. At Fort Lewis, Washington today, there was a funeral for Special Forces Sergeant Nathan Chapman. Last week in Afghanistan, he was the first soldier to die from hostile fire in the Afghan campaign. Today, the commander of the Special Forces, General Jeffrey Lambert, paid tribute to Chapman in the first person.
We gather here today to honor Sergeant First Class Nathan R. Chapman. I thank you for letting us have your son for a short time, embedding the values of the armed forces in that fine fella. So as he grew, he also became a great patriot. And he decided to become a warrior. And in a short time, he was floating in the air with a parachute in his first operation in Panama. He went to Desert Storm and continued raising his hand, going to Haiti. And then a few months ago, he raised his hand for the 4th time. And that was to go to Afghanistan as a volunteer. Now he's gone. At 31 years of age, this warrior saw more combat and conflict than most men do in a lifetime. His legacy, I can see it. I can see a democratic Panama. I can see a liberated Kuwait. And I can see terrorism on the run. He had a saying that was sort of his mantra. Stand up and do something. Nate, I promise the Green Berets will stand up and we'll do something. And we'll do it with distinction. God bless you.
When we come back, the plan to attack Americans in Singapore captured on tape what the terrorists were planning. The school that builds partnerships between man and dog. They will be hunting for bombs. And at the end of the broadcast tonight, the show that outlasted 9 presidents. Robert Krulwich will have words on the final act.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Brought to you by Gateway.
Now's a great time to go 1-800-GATEWAY because right now you can save $100 on great PCs like the Gateway 300S desktop. It comes loaded with an Intel Celeron processor and CD burner for only $7.99 after a $100 mail-in rebate. Or check out the lightweight Solo 1400 notebook. It's only $9.99 after a $100 mail-in rebate. These amazing deals won't last long, so call 1-800-GATEWAY. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Cheerios? They help lower Daddy's cholesterol. They're good for Daddy's heart.
Whole grain oat Cheerios is the only leading cold cereal clinically proven to help lower cholesterol in a low-fat diet.
Cholesterol thing.
Diabetes. It's no joke at all. And in Louisiana one night, paramedics came sticking me, to test my blood sugar. I got to be punching my fingers, and this is all I got. These 10 here, this is it. I'm leaving the pain behind me.
One Touch Ultra requires less blood, so you can test on your arm where it's less painful. The One Touch Ultra.
I've been waiting for this for 10 years.
At Bank of America, we really wanted to participate in the Olympic Winter Games. But in the end, we decided to support the real athletes and stick to the things we do best, like creating the country's largest network of ATMs, so you'll have access to your money at every turn.
In Singapore today, authorities released pretty detailed information about a terrorist plot to blow up the U.S. embassy and to kill U.S. military personnel. They also released a tape found thousands of miles away in Afghanistan. It offers a rare glimpse into the planning of an attack. Here's ABC's Brian Ross.
Peter, is yet another indication of how terror groups connected to al-Qaeda have targeted Americans overseas, and in particular, American military personnel. The videotape shows the meticulous advanced planning that goes into preparing such a terrorist attack. The tape, shot in Singapore, is narrated by one of the accused terrorists, describing the target area.
U.S. military personnel will drop off from the bus and will walk towards the MRT station.
There's a description of where a bomb could be hidden near the MRT subway, which has a parking place for bicycles and motorcycles.
You will notice that some of the boxes that are placed on the motorcycles, these are the same type of boxes which we intend to use.
The cameraman also finds another place handy for a bomb.
You will notice there's a drainage hole. It might be used.
It is a pretty dramatic example of how al-Qaeda plans their terrorist operations.
Tipped off by U.S. intelligence, the Singapore government has arrested 15 members of a radical Islamic group, including 8 who are said to have trained in Afghanistan. This is the man described as the narrator on the tape.
There is a significant network of al-Qaeda members in Southeast Asia, and recently that group has been augmented by al-Qaeda members fleeing Afghanistan.
Authorities say the Singapore attack was in the works since last year and would also have included an attack on U.S. Navy ships in the Singapore harbor. Despite the arrest, authorities say the threat remains very real across Asia, where they say Americans remain prime al-Qaeda targets. Peter.
Thanks, Brian. Brian Ross. Just one other item. In New York today, an Egyptian man was charged with lying to investigators. Abdullah Hijazi was staying in the Millennium Hotel overlooking the World Trade Center on the 11th of September. In the search of his room, FBI agents found an aviation radio that could conceivably be used to communicate with the hijackers. Mr. Hijazi may also be completely innocent. He told the agents he had never seen the radio. When we come back this evening, we'll take a closer look at the bomb-sniffing dogs. The law enforcement agencies in the country simply cannot get enough of them.
Today we remember our friend and Wendy's founder, Dave Thomas. Known by everyone as Dave, he made us smile with his commercials, and because of his efforts on behalf of adoption, he brought hope and joy to children and families everywhere. His philosophy was simple: be nice and give something back. He was happiest when he could help someone else succeed. So from all of us who were touched by his life, we say, thanks, Dave.
So, set up a department meeting for tomorrow and put in a call to the client. Get them up to speed. Anything else?
Here's a thought. Instead of saving money by not using paper, we could just go to Staples.
Yeah, with Staples 365 savings, they compare prices and back it up with a 110% price match guarantee.
I like that. Jot that down.
Low prices on every item, every day. Staples 365 savings. Yeah, we've got that.
Jimmy? If you could take a walk in your kids' shoes, it'd be easier to understand what they go through, the pressures they face, the decisions they have to make, and why it's important you talk with them about things like not smoking. So when the pressure is on,
Oh, hey, you want a cigarette?
they'll make the right decision.
Hey, Dad.
Talk to your kids about not smoking. They'll listen.
Now you can help manage your diabetes anytime, anywhere. This is Glucerna, an ideal food for people with diabetes. Grab a delicious bar as a snack, or have a shake as an occasional meal. Glucerna has the right balance of carbohydrates, fat, and protein, and it's clinically proven to help manage glucose levels. Glucerna is specially formulated to free your mind for other things. Try Glucerna. It's time for a taste of freedom.
Uno's fresh taste.
The fishermen at San Francisco's Fisherman's Wharf. Hi, fishermen. Okay, now we have 2 tunas here. One's from the can. One's from Starkist in the Flavor Fresh pouch. As a fresh expert,
Well,
which
actually,
looks better to you?
I can tell you.
Oh.
That looks fresher.
Oh, it's very good tuna. That's on tastes fresh pot. The Starkist tuna in the Flavor Fresh pouch, yeah, it's much better.
Now there's Starkist new lunch to go. Enjoy the Flavor Fresh pouch anywhere with crackers, mayo, and relish.
Next Friday is the deadline for airlines to screen all luggage going onto their planes. There are certainly questions if they're going to be ready. The airlines will not be required to check every bag for explosives because there is a serious shortage of detection machines and of bomb-sniffing dogs. ABC's Mike Von Frem takes a closer look tonight at the government's dog training school, where this matter is certainly regarded as urgent.
These 14 police officers from various parts of the country are about to meet their new partners. Ready? Officer John Long of the LAPD, meet Kobe.
Now you can talk to her.
These two will now be working side by side for the next 10 to 13 years.
She's mine, and she'll go home with me. She goes everywhere I go.
Kobe is a 2-year-old Belgian Malinois, the premier dog for law enforcement, because it excels at patrol work, tracking, and explosives detection. She's been in intensive bomb-sniffing training for more than a month and will now spend the next 11 weeks showing her new partner what she can do.
She's got a lot of things already down, but I've got a lot more to go, and we're going to learn together.
The school at Lackland Air Force Base simulates everything a dog could encounter on the job. Real explosives are hidden in cabinets, airplane seats, and luggage. These dogs can pick up the scent in seconds and are taught to immediately sit when they find the bomb.
Hello, girl.
Trainers believe these dogs would have detected the explosives found in the shoes of Richard Reed.
If our dogs would have been put in a situation to detect it, all probability they would have responded.
Right now, only the nation's 39 busiest airports are protected with bomb-sniffing dogs. The FAA wants to double that and protect 80 U.S. airports with a total of 300 dogs. Egan, a 4-year-old German Shepherd at the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport, undergoes proficiency training once a week. Today, he found the 2 bombs the airport planted in this aircraft in less than 10 minutes.
Good boy, Egon.
These two are headed for Los Angeles International.
I mean, I've wanted to be a dog handler ever since I came on the department 14 years ago. So to me, this is great.
It costs $15,000 to train one of these partnerships. The potential return on the investment is priceless. Mike Von Frem, ABC News, San Antonio.
When we come back, the final item in the broadcast tonight, the song that took minutes to write and lasted for decades.
When life was slow.
Working hard or working out, nutrition is important. With Centrum or Centrum Silver, you benefit from what science discovers about how the right multivitamins help unlock energy and strengthen immunity. Centrum and Centrum Silver, always complete from A to Zinc.
Of the 441 tax law changes, one could affect how much you pay. Is it on page 17 or 17,000? No one understands the changes better than H&R Block. If you're not satisfied, you don't pay.
Oh, tough day.
Yeah.
What you eating?
Beef noodle soup.
Condensed soup? I used to eat that too, back when I played with dolls. You're an adult now. There's a better taste of soup. New Progresso beef and mushroom has big chunks of tender steak, portobello mushrooms, pasta, and hearty vegetables, all with just the right seasonings. See the difference?
This is better.
See? And how about that tie?
It's time to go to the better taste of Progresso.
I take care of myself. As a teacher, I know how important it is to learn as much as possible. So when I read that nearly 40% of women in their 60s have osteoporosis, I asked my doctor.
Ask your doctor about a bone density test and if Fosamax once weekly is right for you. Fosamax is a non-hormonal tablet for the prevention and treatment of postmenopausal osteoporosis. And Fosamax is the only oral therapy proven to help build bone with a once-weekly option. You should not use Fosamax if you have certain disorders of the esophagus, are unable to stand or sit upright for 30 minutes, have severe kidney disease or low blood calcium. Use with caution if you have stomach or digestive problems. Stop taking Fosamax and tell your doctor if you develop new or worsening heartburn, difficult or painful swallowing, or chest pain, because these may be signs of serious upper digestive problems. Ask your doctor for more information about Fosamax once weekly, proven to help build bone.
Why do I eat Healthy Choice Beef Tips Portobello?
Why? Because it has lean, tender chunks of beef in a delicious mushroom sauce with crisp vegetables.
Real food just for me. Why?
because my body needs balanced nutrition from meals that are 97% fat-free and low in cholesterol, with vitamins A and C and iron.
Why do I eat Healthy Choice?
It helps me do the things I like to do. That's why.
Healthy Choice. Feel-good food.
I'm Paul Lindman. Coming up next on K2 News, the FBI puts Christian Longo on its top 10 most wanted list, saying they believe he's no longer in the country. Plus, traffic on I-5 comes to a halt when a fuel tanker catches fire on the freeway. And Oregon's unemployment on the rise again. Is there any turnaround in sight for our economy? Next on K2 News.
Finally this evening, a fantastic story. It was 42 years ago that the music play The Fantastics opened in New York's Greenwich Village, which makes it the country's longest-running play. It's a simple two-act musical that has spawned more than 10,000 other productions of it. The show has almost closed before when money was tight, but this weekend is for real. Here's ABC's Robert Krulwich.
43 years ago, the guy on the left, Harvey Schmidt, was a young illustrator who loved playing the piano. And the guy on the right, Tom Jones?
I was starving to death.
But Tom and Harvey did have a project to rework this classic French play, Les Romanesques, into a musical Western love story set on a cattle ranch.
And it was horrible. It was horrible.
Things were going very badly until Harvey rented a piano for $5 an hour at this store. He was struggling to create an opening number.
And then I just sort of collapsed over the keyboard and just sweat pouring off. And I thought, my God, I'm paying for this room. I've got to keep playing. You know, I was sort of taking a break. I was almost dozing off. And then, so just for a change of pace, I was so sick of all this music I'd been playing. I just played, try to remember, I mean, the music part, I just...
And out it came. Tom wrote the words later, but the tune came out all at once, completely done.
And I played it just like that. I've never changed a note from that first day.
You mean it just poured out whole?
Yeah, totally. It was just born like that. I never changed a note. And I still, for years, I worried I hadn't written it, that I'd stumble on it somewhere in here.
I mean, I'm sure you've wondered often, like, where do you think, who is the real author?
Well, I don't know. It's just, it was dropped.
God in heaven was the author.
In December, it's nice to remember the fire of September.
And the Lord must have loved that song, because when it closes on Sunday, the Fantastics, that in many ways sprang from that song, will have had the longest run in New York history. Plus, there were 11,000 productions everywhere, which means a lot of you, when you hear this, you'll remember.
Follow, 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 follow.
Robert Krulwich, ABC News, New York.
For aficionados, there'll be more on the Fantastics later this evening on Nightline. Next week on this broadcast, the first test that detects the earliest signs of Alzheimer's disease, national identification cards, and concerns about Big Brother. I'm Peter Jennings. Have a good weekend. Good night.
She was an infant when her father, a youth minister, vanished. Then, years later, he's spotted with a new identity. How did he get there? Connie Chung with the story of a lost memory, a moped, and a minister who vanished tonight.
Now on K2 News at 6:30, a spectacular tanker fire shuts down I-5 in both directions near Woodburn. We'll show you remarkable home video of the fire you'll see only on 2. And the FBI put suspected family killer Christian Longo on its list of 10 most wanted fugitives. Longo about to receive even more national attention over the weekend.
Connecting you to your world, this is K2 News.
A tanker fire makes a parking lot out of Interstate 5 near Woodburn. K2 News has obtained exclusive home video shot by a motorist. And take a look at the view from above from Jet Ranger 2. We shot these pictures shortly after the accident occurred in the southbound lanes of I-5 nearly 7 hours ago. Good evening, I'm Paul Lindman. Steve Dunn is off tonight. Interstate 5 is moving in both directions near Woodburn once again this evening after that fire closed down the freeway. This is home video you'll see only on KETV.